Like all the other topics, we're going to learn about adding and subtracting, and the way we add and subtract fractions is exactly the way we're going to add and subtract rational expressions. So here we learn, of course, when you have a common denominator, you just keep the bottom the same and you add the top. So take a notice here, we have 6x, both are the same. So we are going to add the top, and so we get x plus 9 over 6x. Very simple. In a similar way, when we do subtraction, you are going to, and if the denominator is the same, then it's just 5 minus 2. Now this is where you got to be a little bit more careful. Yes, these denominators are the same. I want you to notice what the subtraction does to this. Watch this progression here. I want you to notice that the 2 becomes negative. And the reason for that is just a good math student knows that that distributes into both of those items there and then gets to be solved. And actually, I now notice this could be x minus 1 over x plus 2. That is just a simplified version of it. It doesn't change anything, but let's show you how to do some of these. Here are two nice examples. We notice that the denominators are the same, and it doesn't get any nicer than this. This is just 9x over x minus 1. And that's all it is, because we add our numerators. Here, likewise, you notice denominators are the same. So we would add things together. I'm going to add 3x's and x to get 4x. I'm going to add negative 2 and 4 to get 2 over 2x. Now, you always have to simplify if you can, and I can see we can simplify. I'm going to pull out a 2x plus 1 over 2x. This is what we just learned, and so our final answer would be 2x plus 1 over x. Let's go to some more difficult ones. Actually, I'm not so sure this is more difficult. It's just subtraction. So what I do want you to notice again is that we're going to subtract. So this would be 4x minus 3x. It would be 1x minus 1. Actually, this is kind of a cool little solution. This just comes out to be 1, because that 4x minus the 3x gives us the 1x minus 1. That's kind of a cool solution. Now, you've done fractions long enough to know that when your denominators are different, you're looking to find them, to make them the same. You'll see how we decided to multiply top and bottom by 3 there, ultimately creating the same denominators so that we could take a 15 minus 2 and get our 13/18. We're going to do the exact same thing for rational expressions. So this is what it looks like here. We have an x plus 2 and a 4. Now, there are some students that want to say, oh, then x plus 4 would be the guy. This isn't the right way to think about it. You have to think about it in terms of multiplication. So if we were doing this, I think the easiest way to do it is just to say that this is going to be 4 times an x plus 2. And we would want to do the same thing over on this side. So the way we do that is we're going to multiply this side top and bottom by 4, and this side top and bottom by x plus 2. Now, this creates some things that we can combine. We can take our 28 here, and it turns into this. And then the other stuff becomes this. We begin to group it, and then factor and see if we can simplify. It doesn't simplify, so it's fine where it's at. The key, though, I guess I want you to notice is it was just easy to make a denominator of 4 times x plus 2. It was just easy to do it that way. So when I look at this first case, I see a 3 and a 3x. Simplest way to do that would be to multiply this side on the left by an x, top and bottom. And now things are the same. And so I would have 4x and 5x is 9x plus 3. And on the bottom would be 3x. This, of course, is not my answer. I can take out a 3 from the top, factor it out, and then divide those out. My final answer would be 3x plus 1 over x. Over on the other side, I see a 2 and a 5, so let's multiply this by 5, top and bottom, and this by 2, top and bottom. On the top, that gives me 20x minus 10 over 10, and it gives me 6x plus 8 over 10. That gives me 26x minus 2 over 10. I can take out a 2 that I can see there, and then divide by 2, divide by 2. My final answer would just simply be 13x minus 1 over 5. That would be the final answer. Let's do a subtraction. Here I see a couple of things. I see the x plus 2's, that's nice. And I see that this one has a 3. So ultimately, I think you know what to do. We're going to multiply this side by 3. So that gives me 3x on this side. Now, be careful here. This negative applies to both of these. So minus 2x plus 2 over 3x plus 2. This simplifies on the top to be 1x plus 2 and 3 times x plus 2. And we notice something quite unique happening there. Our answer is not 3, it's 1 over 3, because this 3 is in the denominator spot. The key, though, to getting this right isn't that last stage, it's this number right here. That you have to understand that this negative times this negative made it positive.